Yeah, hello children. Let me hope you are fine and you're taking care of yourself. Last time we looked at the circulation of blood, and today we want to look at yet another thing about our circulatory system. This is about the blood vessels. Remember I told you the components of the circulatory system include the heart, include the blood vessels, include the blood itself. We looked at the heart, we are done with the heart. But today we want to look at the blood vessels. So we need to find out what exactly is the blood vessel. I've been talking about different blood vessels about the heart. Remember them very well. So you want to see what is a blood vessel. But if I look at that, we shall review our previous work. I left you with that previous work. The first question was saying, why does blood go to the following body organs? 2. So we have the lungs, that's to be oxygenated. Check with your answers. The kidneys, that's to be filtered. The liver, that's to regulate blood sugars. And the ileum to receive digested food. So check with your answers. Then question number 2, which blood vessel carries oxygenated blood to the following organs? The kidney, we said that's the renal artery. The ileum, that's the mesenteric artery. So check whether you pass all the numbers. If you failed some numbers, you can write a collection for that one. So children, today we want to look at the blood vessels. So we want to see what a blood vessel is. So in our lesson today, we shall define a blood vessel. We shall look at the 3 main types of blood vessels. We shall also look at the characteristics of each type of blood vessel. So what do they look like exactly? So get seated and we start off. So we begin with, what is a blood vessel? And question 2 saying, mention the 3 types of blood vessels. Can you think about what a blood vessel is? I've been talking about them often here. This is the aorta. So what do you think is a blood vessel? Fine. Let's check with your answer. So we are defining it. So we're saying, we're reading together, blood vessels are tubes through which blood moves in the body. Blood vessels are tubes through which blood moves in the body. So these blood vessels have 3 main types. We have 3 main types of blood vessels. We are reading them together, children. The first one is arteries. The second one, veins. And the third one, capillaries. We have the arteries, veins, and the capillaries. So we are going to look at the characteristics of each of them. So what exactly does each of them look like? So what's an artery? What does it look like? So we are going to see. So let's look at an artery. So what's an artery? So below here we've got our structure of an artery. So when you look at it, you can see it's a big thing. I can see the word thick muscle. I can see the word narrow lumen. So we are going to see the meaning of all that. So can you look at the characteristics of these blood vessels? So the first one, we're saying these arteries carry blood away from the heart. All of them carry blood away from the heart. The second one, they have thick walled. They are thick walled in order to resist the pressure of blood flowing through them. So we are going to look at their cardiac structure, what it looks like. So we are going to see that an artery has got a thick wall. That thick wall helps them to resist the pressure of blood flowing through them. The third one, they are carrying blood at a very high pressure. So we look at the vein, children. So these veins, for them, they carry blood towards the heart. They have thin walls. They have a wider lumen to allow smooth flow of blood. The lumen is the passage of blood. Then for them, they have got what we call valves. Remember I talked about the valves when we talked about the heart. Remember them? These valves, they prevent the backflow of blood. And why they are found in the vein is because for them, they are carrying blood at a very low pressure. Then also veins, they are located at the surface of the skin. They are not very deep in the skin. Then lastly, they are carrying blood with a low pressure. I've already mentioned that. That's why they have the valves there. Because blood passing through the vein is moving at a very low pressure, that's why they need the valves there. So let us look at the structure of a vein. So as you can see here, the walls are supposed to be very thin, unlike an artery which has got thick walls. For this one, its wall is supposed to be thin, and then it has got a wider opening. This wider opening is what we call a lumen. That lumen is the passage of blood. And then also I've already mentioned that these veins, for them, they have got in them what we call valves. These valves, they prevent the backflow of blood. And we are saying here that all veins are carrying blood which is deoxygenated, except one special one, and that's the pulmonary vein. which carries blood which is oxygenated from the lungs to the left part of the heart. And the biggest vein, remember that biggest vein, children? Who can remind me that biggest vein? We say the biggest vein is what we call the vena cava. Just we say the biggest artery is what we call the aorta. So those are the veins and the arteries. Let's look at it more still. The difference between these two blood vessels, the arteries and vein. So the differences can come in terms of structure, they can come in terms of function. So you'll be able to identify for me which is the structural difference, which is the functional difference. So we are going to go through it together. So arteries, we're saying here, they have thick walls, while veins have got thin walls. That's the structural difference. Arteries have a narrow lumen, while veins have got a wider lumen. And then, thirdly, arteries don't have valves, while veins have got valves. Then finally, arteries carry blood away from the heart, while veins carry blood towards the heart. So you could realize that the first three, these are going to be our structural differences. While this one, the last one, just going to be our functional what? Difference. So in terms of function, how is an artery different from a vein? So an artery is carrying blood away from the heart, while the vein is carrying blood towards the what? The heart. That's in terms of what? Function. So let me hope you are together, children. So finally, let's look at the capillaries. So what do capillaries look like now? These are going to be the smallest of all of them. They're the smallest blood vessels. They are just 1 cell thick. They are almost so close to our skin. For those of you who are brown, you will be able to see some of these things on your skin. Some appear reddish. So they connect arteries to veins. And these capillaries, for them, they allow exchange of materials between the blood and the surrounding to take place. So these capillaries, they take things like food, oxygen, and mineral salt to all the body cells. So let us look at what these capillaries look like. So you can see here, I've already mentioned these capillaries. They are connecting an artery to a vein. So between here, we have our capillary. This side, we have our artery. You can see the wall, it's quite thick. Then this side, we have our vein. So let me hope we are together, children. So remember I told you, we have the three types of blood vessels. There are the arteries, the veins, and the capillaries. And we said the blood vessel is a passage, it's a tube that allows blood to flow through. So I'm going to leave you some little work, which you'll be doing for me. Let's go through the question. What's a blood vessel? Question 2, name the 3 main types of blood vessel. Question 3, mention 1 structural difference between an artery and a vein. Question 4, mention 1 functional difference between arteries and vein. And lastly, how would arteries resist the pressure of blood passing through them? Thanks for being good children. Take care and stay safe.